Hi guys, and welcome to the TLM podcast with me, Tom.
And me, Mark.
So today we're going to be talking about films being changed into games and games being changed into films. We're going to touch on both sides.
Yeah.
But before that, we need to address a few things. Firstly, Mark had a bit of an outburst about EA on the last podcast, which I'm sure that you'll remember. Since then, corporate have come down pretty hard on us. Some phone calls. As soon as we stopped recording, the phone was just ringing.
As soon as we publish, you mean?
As soon as we published, yeah. Sorry, the phone, it was just ringing. Corporate were not happy. So we'd like to firstly apologise to EA for Mark's outburst.
Yeah, do I want to apologise?
Well, yeah. Well, if you want to keep the lights on...
I want to keep a job.
Yeah, you want to keep the job, keep that mortgage being paid, then you better apologise.
I'm sorry.
And secondly, we're going to do things really to the book here. So I've been given a script here by corporate just to go through before we get on to our main topic.
Right.
So firstly, I'd like to welcome and thank listeners. Thanks to everyone who takes the time to listen to this podcast.
Yes.
And thank you to those that review. Reviewers are really, really important.
I think we've got like 2 reviews.
Yeah, it says remind how to review and how it helps. Well, you can review over on iTunes.
Yeah, I think that's the only place you can actually review that I know of.
Good. Right. Well, review on iTunes then, because it really does help us by getting more spreading word of how great this podcast is.
We're 5 stars so far.
5 stars, 1 review. That's all you can. That's all you can ask for.
So don't go reviewing if you're going to give us 1 star.
Oh, I should say positive reviews only. Negative reviews
they'll be deleted.
Yeah, delete. Your review will be removed. Also to thank Instagram story taggers. Really important because we do put out Instagram stories.
Do we?
Yeah, apparently, according to corporate. And people have been tagging themselves in them, so thank you for that.
Wow.
And just generally, thank you for sharing, commenting, DMing and emailing.
Yes.
To all of those that do. It also says here to make sure that we remind everyone to subscribe on all platforms. Twitter, iTunes, Spotify, everything. We're on Google Play, we're on all sorts of stuff that I don't really know what we're on.
Stitcher.
And then the last thing is here, it says beg listeners to interact. Which
beg.
Well, yeah.
Right, I'm on my hands and knees.
Mark is currently on his hands and knees. He was already on his hands and knees. We don't know why. It was a strange way to start the podcast.
I was in a yoga pose.
But thank you guys to those who do take the time to interact, because it helps us to build content towards the end of the podcast that we can. And we like interacting with you guys via the Twitter and Discord and stuff like that. So thank you. The other thing that was mentioned, Mark, by the higher ups,
the powers that be, they've
been looking at our stats, and I'd like to tell you now and inform you now that this may shock you, but 13% of our listener base is aged between 18 to 22 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, I was shocked as you are.
I was expecting 40 to 50.
Yeah, well the thing is, I was shocked, and basically corporate has come to me and they said, look, we've seen the figures, we like the fact that your average audience is 40 plus, but we want to raise the awareness with the youth and the young group.
We need the youth on board.
We want that 13% to go up to 14%, possibly 14.5%.
That 13% might just be Tony.
That could be. It could be Tony just listening at 30% work. But what they've done is, corporate have come down to me, and this was put on my desk.
What is this?
What they've done here is a means of us trying to engage with the younger audience.
With the youth.
With the youth, is they've gone out there and they've put down a load of trigger words, I think they call them, or phrases that the youth are into nowadays, and I've put them in this bowl for us here.
Okay.
So every now and again, I think to keep the engagement of the younger audience, we should just dip in there randomly whenever you want.
Shall I start with one? Now, just to kind of show an example.
It doesn't have to.
I'm so excited about this. I have no idea what this is about.
Yeah. So for all the young listeners out there, you'll really appreciate this.
I'm going to slay this podcast today.
Yeah, excellent. You're going to slay the
absolutely
podcast.
Slay the podcast.
Brilliant.
Today.
There you go. Are
we putting them aside when we've used them?
I don't think we should put them in for a second go.
Probably not.
I think we should use them once.
I think Charlie's going to listen to this and go, Dad, what did you do?
It's such an embarrassment. Even more so than we normally are.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
well, that started that off. I like that.
That's the corporate stuff done.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's move on to the main content of the podcast.
Yes, let's do that. Right, we're going to talk about movies and video games and how the two are very much intertwined and have been for many, many years. We've seen some awful, awful movie adaptations of video games, including things like Mario and whatever else, Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, to name a few of terrible ones. We've seen some good ones as well. Yeah. We've seen some really good ones over the years.
You do say terrible, but there is such a thing as so bad it's good. Like I do think I'll stick up for some of them.
Yeah, it depends which one.
Mortal Kombat, I think, mainly saved probably from the theme tune, from the music. But they just pretty much like these catchphrase words, like the theme tune in whenever there was a panic moment of, God, they're not going to like this bit of the film.
Yeah.
Throw in Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, just throw the music in.
Everyone will love it again. They'll be like, oh yeah, I remember, I love that. I really, really love that film.
Yeah, yeah.
But you're right. When we were doing the great in-depth research that we do for this podcast.
So much for this one.
I was just looking at some of the dates. I mean, there are too many films and games to film to talk about. There's too many, but we've got a list of a few of them. But the range of the years that they range from, just in this short list, going back to 1994, 95,
it's been going
93. Super Mario Bros. That was 93, and you're going all the way up. Obviously now today, there's quite a few more recent ones. I mean, we've seen. Have you seen Detective Pikachu?
I have. Yeah.
Obviously, this will be completely spoiler free, guys. We won't be.
Yeah.
We won't be talking about any films that are out.
Well, we won't talk about the story of films like Detective Pikachu, but we can talk about the film.
Yes,
because otherwise we'll have nothing to talk about.
And the podcast goes silent.
And we're done.
I hope you've enjoyed that.
Yeah, that was great. Was that the latest one? I think it probably was, wasn't it? We had Rampage before that, but I don't.
Yeah,
that was
2018, I think. Yeah, it was. I think that, as far as I remember, Detective Pikachu.
Wreck-It Ralph 2 was that. That was last year as well.
There seems to be quite a lot coming out at the moment, and where it's like with time it all blurs into one, really. But Detective Pikachu, I think, was a really great adaptation of games to film. Even if I know Detective Pikachu was a game itself, but even when they've taken a concept, because sometimes these films aren't necessarily copy and paste. They don't use the exact same formula.
Some to their detriment as well. Like some of these movies where they've made it from a game but not followed any of the storyline or any of the kind of. They've even swayed from the characters and stuff like that as well, which is kind of just. That's when everyone goes and sees it and goes, "What the hell is that?"
Yeah,
it's just awful.
But do you reckon, are people expecting to see when you go to the cinema as a fan? Of obviously, mainly people that go and see these films will probably know them from playing them.
Yeah.
I would say the majority of the audience probably know them. As a fan of, I don't know, let's say, let's take for instance, Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
As a fan of the Assassin's Creed franchise, what are you expecting going to see that film from that film? Are you expecting to just go and see the game or one of the games?
No, I think you'd expect to see the backdrops. Like, you've got very, very clear backdrops for Assassin's Creed. Well, apart from some of the oddities, Yeah. A lot of them were sort of set in roughly the same sort of time periods. A lot of the same. Yeah, you'd want to see the different outfits and stuff that I'm trying to think what the main guy in Assassin's Creed name is, but things like the swords coming out the arms, and you'd want to see all those little things that kind of
make Assassin's Creed what Assassin's Creed is.
Yeah, and going backwards and forwards in time, things like that. That's kind of, for me, would make Assassin's Creed. You don't need to have an amazing story for a game like that.
So is that something that you would say goes across all of the films? Like if you were to go and see, I don't know, what we saw with Mario Bros.
Yeah.
Right, that film gets canned and kicked around a lot.
I think that's
being a really bad film.
Yeah.
Is that because they didn't have the crux of? They obviously had Mario and Luigi, but they didn't have them in the way that you would expect to see them.
No, exactly.
The same with Yoshi and the same. It just had a completely different feel to the the games.
You need that skeleton. I feel you need that kind of the real core basics, right? Bowser is not a human. Do you know what I mean? That's kind of. And so Dennis Hopper playing Bowser, everyone was like scratching their heads. This is weird.
Yeah.
Yoshi was like some weird
Is it a
creature.
dinosaur?
It's awful.
It was literally a dinosaur.
Yeah, and you think of him in the games, he's like the cutest little thing.
Yeah.
And in that, they kind of made him horrible, really.
Yeah.
So they got the core completely wrong. And I think that's where people are like, what is going on here?
Yeah.
And
we want the core, and then you can sort of play around with whatever whatever setting you want to put that in terms of, like you were saying, like story-wise. Yeah. But we want to see what we're expecting. A bit like with this whole Sonic thing.
Yes, exactly.
The whole Sonic...
Make Sonic look the same.
Sonic needs to be Sonic.
Yeah, exactly.
And then anything else around that it matters, but it doesn't matter. You're not going to lose an audience because your main protagonist doesn't look like who he should look like.
Well, I suppose imagine this, we've seen it actually with Sonic is a good example where they brought out Sonic Boom, where Sonic and the others, they all looked weird, right? Yeah. They all looked different. And there was uproar. Everyone went mental. They hated it.
Yeah.
It's a good example of where if you change the core of the game, which could be the characters, could be the setting, could be weapons, could be whatever.
What it's famous for.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. What do you know that game for? If you change that, it's like, what the hell is this?
Yeah,
what have you done?
It doesn't become a game adaptation, then it becomes almost its own film.
They've just used the names.
They've just used the name of,
rough characters. Generally, that'll do. You know, that's I think with the Sonic example, clearly just they get that central character right, and even Robotnik to an extent they've played with. You know, Jim Carrey would be brilliant in that, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But I get the feeling that he changes within the film from looking fairly normal to then looking like Dr. Robotnik.
Yeah, from the trailer
that's what it feels like.
Yeah. It's kind of like a becoming
journey.
Yeah, journey. On that
Sonic drives him to.
It's a journey, but that
which is quite an interesting twist on it.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? But
I think with the look at the Detective Pikachu thing, because Detective, in sort of the classic terms of Pokemon, from remembering from when I was a kid, and any game that I've played that's Pokemon, Pikachu doesn't talk. Yeah, it says like the Pika Pika bits, and Ash understands him and whoever the characters are, but. Like you said, to have a Pokemon like talking, that fundamentally should break it. Yeah. But because he looks so much like Pikachu, and you've got,
but they explained it well
as to why. Yeah, it doesn't. It never took you out of the realm of this doesn't really fit. It made sense to do that.
Yeah, and when you find out why he's talking, it makes total sense. No spoilers. But that's like. They've made the story make sense.
Yes.
100%. You're not going to question it. You're like, yeah.
Whereas if you went in there and went, why does Sonic look like that?
Yeah.
And they've got, because we designed him like that.
Yeah, we just wanted him to look like that.
Well, there's no reason. I don't want to be in this cinema anymore.
No, exactly.
Give me back my money, please.
Yeah. And there's plenty of examples of that where they have got the fundamental core completely wrong, and it messes up the film.
Yeah.
So I think, all right, Mortal Kombat is a bit of a niche kind of example of a bad film being good, right?
I still stand by it.
Yeah,
I've enjoyed it. I would still watch it now. I enjoy it.
Think back and think about your original understanding of Mortal Kombat. What made you like Mortal Kombat, right? Yeah. A lot of it was to do with the violence and the gore. Yeah. Right? They took all of that out for that film. Like, basically, they were still fighting and whatever, but there's no gore. There's no like fatalities and all that kind of stuff.
There are fatalities,
but they're not anywhere near the game. Right?
When Johnny Cage does the splits punch to Goro and then he throws him off a cliff, that's kind of a fatality.
But you don't see like Liu Kang turn into a dragon and bite someone in half.
No, not like all
that. Think about Mortal Kombat. That's like core. Made a lot of people question that film.
Yeah, I can see that. I just I think of all,
and the characters were weird as well. There was some.
Maybe I've just got. I think I might have like nostalgia glasses on because I watched it as a kid. I loved it. Like, I loved the. I think it was just the timing of when I watched that probably because I was younger and I was like, oh my god, this is so cool.
Yeah,
I'm seeing Mortal Kombat and I think I probably got a nostalgia glasses on for that.
So did you want to run through some films and then we kind of give our whether we've seen them and if we remember them?
I mean, the Tomb Raider. Would you say
I didn't like Angelina Jolie?
Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat are probably the biggest ones of the 90s.
Yeah.
And then when you hit 2000, just looking at some of the dates that we've got here, I think Tomb Raider and probably Resident Evil are the two major ones that people would be able to remember and say, oh yeah, those were big. So let's say about Tomb Raider, the Angelina Jolie films. There's obviously the latest one, but the Angelina Jolie ones, the first ones, you've seen those.
Yeah. I think I saw one of them and I didn't like it.
No.
And didn't bother watching anything else.
But they tried to stick quite closely to the story and that, so it was just more.
Yeah, I think they stuck to the original stories, didn't they?
And that should be a really good story. It should be a really good. It's basically Indiana Jones, or
they could probably literally take the story from the game. Like there's not
too much to change from.
Yeah, no. Well, that's what I think. That's pretty much what they did with the later one, didn't they? They took it from the 2013 game, which was a really good story.
Yeah, some bits in the game were, if I remember correctly, pretty much just ripped straight from the game. There are certain bits where she's jumping and things, and if I can remember correctly, where you're like, that is exactly the game. I watched that film again. Both of them, I wouldn't say they were unwatchable. No. I would just say they were easy. They were easy watching films. I wouldn't say that they were terrible in terms of the fact that, oh my god, I can't watch this. This is awful. But yeah, I enjoyed both of those films. I would say watch them, but just watch them with a pinch of salt. They're not going to be. They're not winning any Oscars or anything like that.
I was just never convinced by Angelina Jolie in that role. Like, for me, that just I don't know. The newer version, the newer actress is much better, I think.
You say it, well, why not?
I don't know. I just think it's probably because of all the other films she's been in.
She looks very 90s Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
Without going down the route of, she's got the physique of what they planned Tomb Raider around that time. She does look the part.
She does,
in the same way that the new actress, Alicia Vikander, I'm probably butchering that name, but she fits the part of the way the new Tomb Raider is going. I think I don't think the casting of her was too bad.
I think it's because it's. I don't know. In my head, it's like it just didn't. I remember watching it and being like, "Oh, it's Angelina." I don't really like Angelina Jolie anyway.
So you have a personal hatred.
Yeah, I hate her.
The last one was EA. Now it's Angelina.
Corporate gonna hate me for that.
Right, let's please corporate, Mark. Get another word out there for the youngsters.
Right. This is gonna link to the next thing I say. That comment was shady.
Shady, mate. That was a shady comment. I apologise on Mark's behalf. Angelina, if you are listening, she's not in that age bracket anymore, but maybe in the older age bracket. Warcraft. Have you seen Warcraft?
I haven't.
I've seen it. Where did I watch it? I can't remember.
Did you play World of Warcraft though?
This is a weird one because I've never played.
Right, so I played it. Never saw the film.
Okay, good. Right. Well, so I've seen the film, and the film, I was surprised by it because I thought it was going to just be sort of no real story to it.
Okay.
And again, it's been a while since I've seen it. It came out in 2016.
Yeah.
But I was surprised. Know nothing about Warcraft. I wonder
whether maybe that helped.
Yeah, I know the game as in I could pick it off of a shelf and I could describe it.
You know it's about,
but I don't know anything in terms of story and no context at all. And yeah, it was quite good. There were some bits where it got a little bit, as these games film adaptations can do, it got a bit crazy, ridiculous. But the majority, I would say 80% of it, I really enjoyed. I thought it was really good. That's one I would say surprised me. That's one I went in with zero expectations and actually found myself watching it thinking I quite enjoyed that. It was quite a good film. But the game wise, I don't know how it weighs up to what it's like to play the game. I suppose the story of the game.
The problem with the game is it's a fully open world game. When it comes to story, there's hundreds of individual little stories. It's like. And depends what your little clan is doing.
Well, this one, all that kind of stuff, based on pretty much.
I don't know how they made a film out of it, to be honest.
I think it was pretty much. I'm trying to think now. About 3 or 4 main characters who the actual core of the story was around.
Were they representing like
they were representing
the different things
clan.
Like not magician, like a mage or like a.
To a degree, you had
orcs.
You had the orc side, and you had I'm trying to remember this correctly, and then the human side, and then they were trying to invade through a portal.
Oh, okay.
And it was about trying to balance stop the
When
power.
I say I played it, I played it for about 3 hours.
It was good. It was alright. it was worth watching. It was definitely worth watching.
Okay.
Maybe if you like the game, give the film a go. But if you only played it for 3 hours...
I played it for... A friend of mine convinced me to buy it. This is a long time ago.
Yeah.
He sold me the dream. Literally sold me the dream. He's like, this game, it'll change your life. It's amazing. I'm like, okay. Why? And he explained it to me. He's like, it's amazing, so much content, but you just pay a subscription. I'm like, well, is there a free version? So I started off with just a 30-day trial, I think, or something. Yeah. My God. I played it for like 3 or 4 hours. I was so annoyed with the game.
What, just the control?
I was just grinding, trying to get... I don't even remember. It annoyed me. It just annoyed me. It's not my type of game.
It's one of those games you've got to dedicate a lot of time to, I think, and that's why I never played it. Yeah, I didn't want to get drawn down that rabbit hole and never come back.
I've just turned off a whole crowd of gamers by saying that, but
I'm sure that if I played it, I would love it. So stick around for that. The next on the list is Street Fighter, the 1994. Now I was, how old would I have been? 8.
This was when Kylie was at the height of hotness, right?
Oh, really? When I was 8 years old?
Yes.
So I remember this film, watching this at the local youth club.
Oh, okay.
And it was on in one of the, because there's like multiple rooms and stuff. It was on in one of the rooms, and I can remember being in there watching it a little bit. So I've never sat down and watched it since then from start to finish.
Oh, have you not? Oh, no. You've got to.
I will do.
JCVD.
I can remember all of like, and Blanca being all covered in paint, with like body paint and all that. I can remember all that kind of thing.
Who was in it? So Jean-Claude Van Damme. You had Kylie Minogue.
So who was Kylie?
Kylie was Cammy.
Right. Okay.
And then you had Ken was someone famous. I can't remember who it was.
See, this is where my memory... Because I don't remember the film as such. I can't tell you who played the roles. You have a look.
I want to know. I actually really want to know. So, I remember very, very clearly...
While you do that, shall I pull another word out?
Yeah, do it.
This could be anything. This is one for the youngsters. Swag.
Swag.
There you go, guys. Enjoy that. Lovely little tidbit there for you.
Jean-Claude Van Damme, Guile... Cammy was Kylie Minogue.
And we've got...
I honestly don't think there was anyone...
So we've got 2 people out of the roster of Street Fighter that we can actually remember from the film.
Well, it's all about Jean-Claude, right? Raul Julia, you'd recognise him if you saw him, type actor. Ming-Na Wen is... I think that was Ryu. Yeah, and so it was all about... Jean-Claude
Van Damme, who played Guile, who's probably one of the weakest characters there are. It's just bizarre. And that's the thing.
So that was...
it's another weird thing, like you were saying earlier, about going away from the main plot. Like, Ryu and Ken are the main plot, probably, most people say, of Street Fighter. If you say Street Fighter, you're not going to say Guile. No. That's not really the first character that pops in your head. It's going to be Ryu, Ken, and then Chun-Li Bison so that's another weird one. Just a weird take.
It was weird. And you think of Jean-Claude Van Damme, like what's he famous for? Do you know what I mean? For being a kung fu expert, right?
Yeah, roundhouse kicks.
Why was he not Ken?
He does the roundhouse kick.
Why was he Guile?
He like wouldn't bleach
American.
His hair.
Wasn't Guile American in the game? Yeah, he was.
Yeah, he's an American soldier.
Yeah. And they get Jean-Claude Van Damme to play him. It's totally bizarre. And then Kylie Minogue was Australian.
Ken was American as well, though. And so he could have played...
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's totally bizarre. So, it was... At the time of seeing it, I loved it because I was a kid and I was like, it's amazing. Street Fighter. And you kind of... At that point, you don't really think of it in the way of, my God, this is bad.
No, you just want to see something you love on the big screen, don't you?
Yeah, exactly. And watching it later, you go, wow, this is terrible.
Resident Evil next on the list. We've talked enough about Mortal Kombat, so we'll skip over that.
I feel like I've seen Resident Evil, but I cannot, like, they're not ingrained in my memory. I can't remember seeing them.
Similar way to the games, I feel. I watched the first one and thought this was alright, this was okay. Yeah. It wasn't Resident Evil as you would know it. It wasn't copy and pasted from the first Resident Evil.
It's probably what they should have done.
They probably should have done that. I know that it's an easy thing to do, but it would have made a great horror film. It would have made a great horror film.
Yeah.
And
apart from that, the main actors couldn't walk around in circles like you do in the first Resident Evil.
Only turn at 90 degrees.
Can't see that.
Yeah, Mark is now turning at 90 degrees for anyone that's listening. But the film itself wasn't too bad. But then, very much like the game series, it felt like they just went down at the action. Really. And I didn't. I think I maybe tried to watch 2, and didn't. Again, it's a series that maybe if I watched back now, and wasn't putting too much stock into it being a horror film, and just thought, I'll watch these for an easy watching. I should probably go back and watch them all.
Do you think how scary like the first game was and the second game when you were when you were younger?
But again, going back to what you said about going away from the core, like the core thing about Resident Evil was the fear.
Yes.
And that's what they built on. And then when you start going actiony and stuff, for me, it just I lost interest in it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Doom is next on the list, and Doom is one again that I didn't think I'd enjoy.
Yeah.
And then, for some reason, I've watched that film twice.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
But it is... It's
I don't think I've seen it.
Watch it. It's one of those ones where if you put it... Do you know what it's like? It's like a late-night film.
Yeah.
You know when you sat there flicking through the channels? I feel like
I've probably seen it like that.
Yeah. And
just when the missus is asleep and I'm like...
You're like 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
You've done it. There's nothing on. What am I going to do?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you click on Doom.
Yeah.
That's the perfect film. It's not a film where I'll go to you, hey Mark, come round, let's sit down and watch Doom together.
Probably 90% of your list is like that.
Yeah.
They're late night.
They're 11 o'clock films.
Or they happen to be on around Christmas.
They're films with ad breaks. That's what they are. They're the film for 11 o'clock movie.
Yeah.
There's no thinking required when you're watching Doom. You can just chill out in a dark room and watch The Rock go around shooting loads of demons.
But I don't get it with Doom because the game Doom pretty much has no storyline. Like it's charge into this area and just shoot demons. Like there's nothing. Yeah, you go and fight a boss or
I will take that point.
Yeah,
and I will hit back at you. John Wick. Which is probably my favourite action film.
There's no story.
There's a very short story, which is the thing that happens at the start of the film.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the film is just one big fight sequence.
Everyone wanting to kill him.
And it is just the way it's shot and the way it's done. For me, I love that. And this has nothing to do with, nothing to do with games at the moment.
They need to make a John Wick game.
They have made a John Wick game.
Have they? Oh, what?
You need to watch E3, buddy.
They haven't made it yet. They're making
coming.
It. Oh, I missed that.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Not in the way that you would think it is. From my understanding of it, Mike Biffle is working on it,
right?
And it's like XCOM.
What turn-based?
It's like turn-based, but what happens is you do the turn-based movements and then you watch the whole thing play out.
Okay.
So it's like that, like we were just saying about one big flowing action scene. Yeah. Apparently, I haven't seen the footage of it yet.
I'd have to watch that.
But apparently, it's meant to be looking good. Good idea.
So Doom, you've seen twice.
Yeah, for somehow.
What was the storyline? Was there a storyline, or was it pretty rough?
I think they were on Mars,
right?
And there's a research facility.
Right.
And then someone's doing research, and the next thing
they drop a vial.
A vial gets dropped by a monkey in a cage.
Oh no, we created a demon.
And then there's a demon, and then everyone starts becoming demons, and it's just fun. It's just an easy, fun film to watch. We talked about Mario Bros. Do you want to touch on that anymore?
Well, not massively. I think that was for me a massive disappointment. Like when I was younger, I loved Mario, and for that to come out 93, I'm trying to think what point they were at with the games. Pretty sure they brought out the Super Nintendo Super Mario World, but anyway, massive disappointment. I mean, Mario didn't look like Mario. Luigi, they kind of had a resemblance.
Yeah.
Bloody Bowser looked nothing like Bowser. Yoshi looked nothing like, and it's just kind of the storyline was horrendous, and just all round terrible film. But it's so sort of ingrained in people's minds.
Yeah.
Because it was, like you say, so bad that it was good. It's funny to watch just because it's so awful.
That's the thing. People will remember them. Though.
Yeah.
People do remember them.
Yeah.
Silent Hill.
Haven't seen.
I don't think I've seen this either. But when I was writing...
Shouldn't have wrote it down.
Well, when Well, I wrote it down because I wrote it down as a film that I thought, there's no way I haven't seen this. And I was hoping that you would have seen it and this would have jogged my memory.
No.
But I must have seen Silent Hill, the film, because that's a film that I would want to watch.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's gone completely over my radar.
Yeah. Under?
No, but over.
Could go over, I suppose.
It depends on which way you're looking at it, I guess. That's Silent Hill. We won't talk any more about that because we can't talk about it.
No.
Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
Touched on it.
Yeah.
The few little changes they did.
It's weird, some of the things they did in that film.
Yeah.
Like I think before we started recording, we're talking about the when he was dangling in the air. What was
the name of it?
Like a hammock.
The Animus.
Yeah.
The Animus that was in the games. It plugged into your.
Yeah.
You sat in a chair and essentially plugged into your brain, and then that's how you interacted.
Yeah.
In the film, they put him on some sort of giant crane. That he could swing around. Bungee crane.
Running around the room. It was weird. So it was like he could act it out while running around in the air. It's bizarre. Totally bizarre. I don't know why they did that. Like it didn't really add anything to the film. That's what I don't get about that.
Yeah, they could have just done it. I don't know. Maybe they wanted to just add action. Maybe they wanted to keep movement, like keep action, even in the scenes where there shouldn't have been action.
In the real world,
sense. Yeah, in the real world bits.
Really bizarre.
Weird. Someone will have an answer for that. Why they did it. Hitman.
I feel like I've seen this again. It's another one that I think has probably been a late night viewing, but I can't remember.
Okay, good. We'll skim over that one then, because I don't think I watched Hitman either. No. We'll skim over that one.
Well, Rampage is another Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, isn't it?
Yes.
He's been in multiple video game adaptations.
Yeah, he's twice on this list now. He's appeared,
I think he's been in about 3.
Think he'll be in the new Mortal Kombat?
What's going on? Why does he get dragged into these films?
I don't know. Video games. He likes his video games. Yeah. A bit like Vin Diesel.
Yes.
He's a massive video game enthusiast.
Yeah.
As saying that, that's a good shout.
Pitch Black.
Pitch Black. That was a film that was changed into a game that was a good, from what I remember.
That was on the PS2, wasn't it?
I tell you what, we'll come to it, but the PS2 has got an era of films to games.
Films to games, yeah.
That's
so many.
Well worth talking about. Yeah. Have you seen? We'll just go through this. See if you've seen it. Have you seen Angry Birds?
Yes.
Good?
I've seen that with Charlie. Yeah, it's all right. It's mindless fun. I mean, you think of the game. It's really.
How do they do it though? Because the game is just throwing Angry Birds at pigs.
Yeah.
And some of the birds explode. And how do they turn that into a kids' film?
It's quite interesting because they've made real characters out of each of the type of Angry Birds. So, like you're saying in Angry Birds, you've got the different types of birds that do different things.
Yeah.
And they've turned them into characters. So the one that's like a big bomb, the one that blows up, the black bird.
Yeah.
He's big, beefy character and is quite funny. And every so often they fling him at stuff.
But when he blows up, does he then come back?
Yeah. They explode and then they're just covered in dust, like soot type thing.
Right.
So it's kind of like
there's
fine.
not Angry Bird flesh and bones.
No, exactly.
Organs flying everywhere.
If they were to do an adult adaptation,
that's what I want to see.
Hyper realistic.
I want to see an adult Angry
There would
Birds.
be carcasses everywhere.
Oh dear! Right.
Yeah, that was alright.
Max Payne.
I don't think I've seen Max Payne.
No, I don't think I have either. I keep thinking Constantine.
Yes.
As in the film Constantine.
The thing is, I love the game Max Payne. I really should have seen it.
That game was insane. The bullet time.
Yeah.
The first time ever playing Max Payne. For those of you who don't, if you're listening, if you fell into the right age bracket, you would have hit bullet time with Max Payne for the first time.
Yeah, but did the premise of bullet time?
That's what I can't remember from my youth.
What came first? Max Payne came first, right?
What came first, Max Payne or the bullet time?
Max Payne or the Matrix?
Oh,
I can't remember.
Well, no, that doesn't help, does it? The film for Max Payne came out in 2008.
Find out.
Max Payne, though, for me personally, was the first time that I can remember hitting bullet time in a game.
Matrix was 99.
But was the game out? Was bullet time in the game? before.
There was bullet time in the game, but when was that? When did you say?
The film was 2008, but the film's not going to be before the game.
Oh, when was the game, Max Payne?
Yeah.
Right, okay, sorry, I thought you were... Let's have a look.
While Mark does that, I'm going to go to the little bowl. Kanye West. That's just for the youth out there. Yeah, so I can't remember if it was before or afterwards, but...
2001, by the looks of things. Yeah, 2001.
See, that's weird, because I would have...
Yeah, the first Max Payne was 2001. Matrix was 99. So...
Yeah, but the game, The Matrix, wouldn't have been out in 99.
No, but it wasn't long after. So it's not about the game. If you think about the premise of the film...
I think...
They made Max Payne after... I wonder if they were developing it at the same time though, because it's very close.
They might have been friends. I think that Max Payne and Neo were friends.
They were mates.
And they've just shared the rights to everything. That's what I think
I've got this great idea.
Can you move in slow motion?
I've got that idea as well.
Can you imagine how great a feeling that must have been there for them both, where they both realise that I'm the only person that can move in slow motion.
We can both do this. It's amazing.
Franchise?
But bullet time's been in lots of games since.
Oh, bullet time is now
it's just a normal thing, right?
Yeah, but...
it's in Red Dead Redemption.
That, for me, was the first time I ever when I hit the button in Max Payne, and everything went slow-mo, and I was moving quicker than everything else. Also, it was a dive-in Max Payne. You hit the basically slow-motion button, and dive, watching bullets fly past you while you were shooting other people. It was just a great feeling, the first time we ever done that. Let's move on.
But Max Payne was Mark Wahlberg, right?
Yes.
Did you say you've seen it? Because I haven't seen it. Okay,
all
right. I just know it was Mark Wahlberg, not Max Wahlberg.
Max Wahlberg. Tron.
Yes, I've seen that.
Yes, that was pretty decent actually. Yeah, I quite like that as well. Jeff Bridges.
Yeah, was Tron not a film and then turned into a game?
No.
I think it was. What, I think this is the other way around.
Well, no, there was an original film, Tron.
Yes.
But did that become before the game? I do not know. One for the listeners. Let's do a little.
Let us know
what came first. Tron or Tron? Hang on, Mark's going into the pot
to speak to the listeners. If you know the answer to that, you could be boasty about it on our Twitter.
Excellent.
at the TNM Pod.
Good.
Oh, TNM Pod, not the TNM Pod.
Yeah. Crikey.
Sorry, terrible. Right. God, corporate
gonna go mental again. Ready Player One, more recent one.
Yes.
Not an adaptation of a game, but more of a homage to every game. There's so many references to games from every era, every console in that. I don't know if have you seen it?
Yes.
Yeah. Did you enjoy it?
I did. I think it probably helped that I was with my son. It kind of a lot of films help.
Yeah.
When I'm with other people, like I think watching a game.
He explained it to you.
He explained it to me because I'm a bit slow on the uptake. But I feel like after reading all the reviews after, so I enjoyed it at the time. I hadn't read any reviews, and then I read reviews afterwards, and everyone slated it.
Yeah.
Or lots of people did.
I preferred. I read the book before I saw the film.
I don't know what that is. I don't know what books are.
But they're like these things that you can open with pages, and they've got words on. So yeah, I read the book before I saw the film, so I had already an idea in my head of what it looked like.
Well, how close was it to the book?
It was pretty close. There were some differences, but I think it's more with the book.
Yeah.
You design to a degree the characters and the world in your head. Yeah. So the way that they portray them in the film, if you've read the book first, then you see the film, it's never going to be the same as what you were imagining, what you were thinking.
I think those two topics are quite similar though. I think a lot of people will complain about a film made from a book. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, oh, it's not the same as the book. They took so many things out, blah, blah, blah.
Look at, like Game of Thrones.
Same with a game, right? Yeah. Because you can't fit everything that's in a game into a film. And it's the same with a book. Like, you have to shorten it. And you have to have your own like touches on it and change it in certain ways to make it fit. So it's quite similar.
True. Yeah. But a good, again, watchable film.
Yeah.
Pixels.
I purposefully did not see this.
I saw it.
Because I was told it was absolutely horrendous. This was just after it came out. I was like...
Not...
Categorically don't see it, I was told.
Right. I watched it.
How bad was it?
I don't remember anything about it other than the bit where Pac-Man eats
Giant
his creator, but he eats his creator. So his creator comes running into the... I won't even try and...
But in the real... That's the real creator.
The real creator of Pac-Man. He comes running the street saying, like, I can talk to him. It's my baby. And then it eats him. And that I will never forget, because that was funny. That was really funny. The rest of the film could not tell you.
Was The Rock in that as well?
Probably, yeah. I'm going to say he was. He's not. He definitely wasn't. But he might have popped up somewhere in the background.
Yeah.
It was Adam Sandler, I think. Pixels with who was the other guy who
Kevin James and Adam Sandler.
Yeah, that's right. But other than that, it left no lasting impression on me at all. Wreck-It Ralph, though.
Oh, one of my favourite.
That is a great film.
And that again is very similar to Ready Player One. That it's not
adaptation from a game. It is just a film with gaming in it. But I haven't seen the second one.
Oh, you haven't seen
the second one.
Oh, okay. So the first one especially is homage to gaming, right? Yeah. Massively in all respects. I feel like they went too far into that sugar candy world in the. That was the only downside of that.
In the
film.
Second or third?
No, in the first one. The first one. It was like they had all this amazing stuff with all the retro gaming characters and blah 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 in the first like half an hour.
Do you think there was because is there a licensing thing where they probably pushed as much as they could use their licensing without making it?
Because it had Sonic, it had Pac-Man, it had Quicks, is it? Street Fighter characters, it had Tapper.
Who's the orange one? Oh, called
Cubert.
Did you?
Film. When did you see that? Did you see that when it came out? Did you go cinema or was that you saw it after?
2012. I might have watched it. I didn't see it at the cinema. But so it would have probably been on when it came on Sky or something like that at home. Possibly, but
I went to the not the premiere, a screening of Wreck-It, the first one, and it was amazing because what they did is they had the actual arcade machine of Wreck-It Ralph in the cinema.
Oh, cool!
And people were kind of queuing up to play it, and I got to play it, and it was really bizarre playing that because it's like. This was before I watched the film, so I was like, I don't know what this is. Right?
Yeah. There's a queue, I'm going to get in it, because everyone else is in it.
Yeah, because it's like, what is this game? And it was, they'd full on made the arcade cabinet look old as well.
Oh, nice.
Amazing. But after it...
But that's worth a few quid, whatever that is now.
Yeah. But after it, went back, and I was like, we've got to play that again now, and it makes sense.
Yeah.
So, but, watching that in the cinema at a screening, before anyone had kind of spoke about it or reviewed...
Into a game?
There is...
There's got to be some form of...
There is a game. It's kind of been a... I think it was a fan-made game.
Oh, really?
I've got it on a cartridge. Yeah, Jamie gave it to me as a birthday present or something.
Okay.
Mega Drive cartridge, I think it was. But I don't think they've made an official one. I don't think. I could be completely wrong.
Something to have a look at, maybe.
The TNM pod.
Yeah, let's know. Remember what it said? Beg listeners to interact.
Please
let us know.
Yeah.
Please let us know. Right, so that's a short list of. I mean, we could go through.
There's so many. Yeah.
So we're gonna have just a quick talk before we talk about games that have been made from movies. That's the right way around.
Yes.
Yeah, we've done the other way around. Let's have a question of what game would make a good film that's not been made yet. While you think about it, I'm going to go to the pot. And this says Ghetto Booty.
Ghetto Booty.
Get a ghetto booty in your life.
You couldn't have said that in a posher accent either.
Let's ghetto.
Ghetto Booty.
Let's ghetto. What game would make a good film that has not been made yet?
I think there's plenty of games. I think something like Red Dead Redemption would be a really good film.
Like a western.
It's a fantastic story, yeah. But whether that would then just end up being a western.
Yeah, it's not.
Anyone would be like,
there's not really too much
western
game in terms of taking it to the big screen. There's not too much you can do with the game mechanics other than keep riding a horse into a tree.
What about Horizon Zero Dawn?
Horizon Zero Dawn is a great shout. That would be a fantastic. That would be a great film adaptation because it's got a great story.
Mechanical animals and stuff. They could do amazing CGI on that, couldn't
visually, it would be insane.
Yeah.
And it's got a really, really good story as well to it.
Yeah.
That's a really, really good one. I'm trying to think if there's another one, or should we just stick at Horizon Zero?
Days Gone.
Who would you have as Aloy in casting for Horizon Zero Dawn?
Angelina Jolie.
Oh god, brilliant. Do you know who I'd have? I'd have Daenerys from Game of Thrones.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because she's got, in Game of Thrones, she's got that hair that's kind of like plaited, and obviously in a different colour, but I would go for her. I'd cast her. Let us know what you think, but I would cast her as...
I think this is going to sound really weird.
Okay, now I'm worried.
I think she'd probably be too small for the role.
Too small.
That sounds weird. Like, you think of the we've talked about the characters having to live up to be the same as...
Yeah, but there's a magic of cinema. If you look at
going to stretch her.
Well, you look at Daniel Craig plays Bond.
Yeah.
He's tiny. I've met him in real life, and he is. You could put him in a box, like a little matchbox.
Have you actually got him in a box in your basement?
That's That's why he's refusing to do Bond again.
Yeah. That's why you took those extra sweets.
No, but he's really tall. But in Bond, you wouldn't think he's really tall. He's really small. But in Bond, you wouldn't think he wasn't tall.
Yeah, true.
So the magic of the cinema, they could do that.
Put it out there.
Okay.
Yeah. You let Sony know.
Yeah. Well,
we need a Horizon film.
We do need a Horizon film. Let's talk about then some of the games that have been made into movies. Some of the movies that have been made into games. It's so difficult for me to get words around the right way.
Yeah.
Any that stand out for you without looking down at my list?
Well, I without looking at your list, I told you to write a couple there. For me, I've got like two sets here, two games. For me, the Lego games. This is a bit weird because it's Lego adapt from movies, right? So they make a Lego Star Wars, Lego Jurassic Park, Lego whatever.
Harry Potter, Marvel. They've done all the Marvel ones. Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what else they've done. Loads,
hundreds, right? And then what happens is after they've been adapted to Lego films, is that they move them into games. I think it's that way round. I don't know, right? I have never looked at the dates of whether the film comes out first or the game, but generally there's always a game of a Lego film of a film.
It's a game of a Lego film. Oh my god! It's
like Inception.
We're back to the Pokemon canister thing. There's a game of a film of a Lego game of a film. What do you mean?
So Lego Avengers.
Wars, right? Star Wars.
Right? Star Wars.
Is Star Wars.
Yes.
Then it becomes Lego Star Wars. Then it becomes the film Lego Star Wars.
That's my point. I don't know which way around it is.
Right. Okay, whether they go from Star Wars to the film Lego.
Yeah.
No, I reckon they go
I think
game.
It's game first.
I think it's game.
Yeah.
I'd bet on game.
So that example is utter trollop. Out the window, piss off.
No, because they've gone from the Lego game is an adaptation of the
movie,
the film. So it's not.
All right. I think I'm going to go with the Lego Star Wars trilogy. Yeah. Those Lego games are fantastic.
Yeah,
they're loads of fun.
I haven't played a Lego game in ages, but I'm really excited about the Lego all 9 films, all 9 Star Wars films coming out on one disc.
Yeah.
Because I'm definitely going to get that play through all 9 of those because I think the Lego films, like most of these sort of in quotation marks kids adaptations, they've got the adult humour in all of them. You know, they because they know that parents are going to be sitting there either watching or playing, whether it's the film or the game. They throw a lot of hidden adult humour in there that only a certain age group would get, and they are really fun, and the gameplay is always good in those Lego games as well.
And really tough
if you're ever
in the first ones
playing one. I wouldn't say be put off because it's got Lego and you think I'm an adult, I shouldn't be playing with anything that's Lego. They're actually really fun games, definitely worth playing. The other one you had was you said about Jurassic Park.
Jurassic World Evolution is the one I've been playing recently, but I've played plenty of Jurassic Park games over the years. So the first Jurassic Park game I can remember playing was on the Super Nintendo, and I loved that game. And the music in that was phenomenal. Right? And that was on a Super Nintendo. But now I've sunk about 40 hours into Jurassic World Evolution. right?
That's over 10 times the amount of hours you put into Warcraft.
Exactly.
Wow.
That shows how good it is.
That shows how good it is, guys.
Screw you, Warcraft. I'm playing Jurassic World. Yeah. It's not the best strategy game I've ever played. Like, there's...
What is the best strategy game you've ever played?
City Skyline, I think. Or possibly 2 Point Hospital.
Okay.
They're two of my favourite, more recent games.
Yeah.
Obviously, back in the day, it was SimCity.
Yeah, obviously. Everyone.
And you're like, whatever.
Nerd.
But yeah, Jurassic Park. There's loads of good games of that. That was just a couple I thought off the top of my head.
You saying Jurassic Park has also made me excited for the remaster of the Ghostbusters game.
Yes,
that's been announced because we're getting
decent.
Yeah, and I never played it. That got really good reviews. The Ghostbusters game, as in there's been a lot of Ghostbusters games. The latest kind of Ghostbusters game with the full cast. I think you had the full cast from the films. That's been remastered, and I really can't wait to get my hands on that because I want to play that.
PS3.
I want to say 3. Yeah, it must have been
3.
So I want to play that because I'm looking forward to giving that a go, and also looking forward to the new film because the new Ghostbusters next year, I think it is.
After that horrendous mess they
Paul
put
Rudd's
out last
just been
time.
cast as a teacher, hasn't he?
Oh, okay.
So, but yeah, for me, I would say when I was writing, like, it's just a short list because again, if you Google films turned into games, there are about 1 million. Yeah, no lie, there are thousands and thousands. So instead of that, I just went for what games off the top of my head can I remember playing that were films, and it was weird because I wrote down 5, and then it turned out that I wrote down 5, and it turned out that all of them were PS2.
Yeah.
And I found it really... I don't know if there's a link there. I don't know if that was just when all of a sudden there was a boom of games. But these games, if you haven't... Again, I don't know if you've played them, we'll find out. But if you guys haven't played them, go and try them out because they're... I don't know if they stand up now, but at the time they were brilliant.
Yeah.
The first one's The Thing.
Haven't played that.
That was brilliant. It's... Did you know the film?
Yeah.
The horror film?
Yeah.
It's from Kurt Russell...
Yeah.
I think it was 80s or even maybe even 70s.
It was old.
It was an old film. But the film itself is superb. Really, really good.
Yeah.
Worth a watch. It's one of those similar to the way that Alien builds tension and there's
it's a proper
really,
cult film.
Really good film.
Yeah.
Suspense and tension in that is brilliant. And in the
I feel
game,
like it was one that didn't do well when it first came out. I think The Thing was a very cult in that respect. Like, it did much better later on.
They tried to do a remake of the film, and I never saw it because I didn't want to see it. I wanted to remember it as the original. Yeah. The other ones we've got was The Warriors, another really old film.
Very old, that was 70s, I think, or 60s maybe. Yeah,
that's another really old film. Another one I actually watched it quite recently. The film itself doesn't hold up as great as I remember it when I was younger, but the game's really fun to play.
I think I've got it, but I haven't played it.
Play it. You need to stream it.
To play it.
Stream it for everyone to see. Essentially, it's about gangs in New York, and you're part of a gang that gets framed for a murder that you didn't do, and then all the other gangs try and hunt you down. Basically, the Die Hard. I think
trilogy.
It was a Die Hard trilogy.
Yeah,
I think it was. That was on the PS2.
I love that.
Again,
love that.
Brilliant adaptation.
And Die Hard Arcade as well was the arcade version, and it had the same trilogy really.
Oh really?
Amazing
arcade.
Yeah. Oh no, wait. It was the shooter. Sorry, it was the. In the trilogy there was 3 different types. You had the driving one.
Yeah,
you had the walking
one,
and then you had the shooting one. The arcade was the shooting one, I think.
Okay.
So you did that whole shoot, and that was. I loved that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And you could throw
really
the bombs,
captured,
and you could do the
so
rocket
simple
launcher.
And captured exactly the
I'll just kill everyone. Killed all the civilians, everything. That was a good game.
The Matrix, I think it was Enter the Matrix.
Yes, Enter the Matrix.
That was brilliant.
Really good. Really good
fighting, slow motion fighting in that.
But I've played it more recently, and it doesn't massively hold up to what I thought.
I don't think maybe any of these will hold up, but in my mind they will always hold up because they were just great at the time. And then the Lord of the Rings, I can't remember if it was the first or the second. Might have been the two.
Are we talking Lego Lord of the Rings or?
Lord of the Rings, another one that got done by Lego, wasn't it? Yeah, no, I'm talking
that
about,
was brilliant.
I'm talking about the PS2 one where you could play. I believe it was more than one character, so you could play like co-op.
Right. Okay.
I think if I remember it correctly,
I did. I've got it.
it was a great game.
I don't think I've played it all the way through.
Really,
I remember
really
it being very good though.
Yeah, but those are the ones that, for me, that if you was just to say to me off the cuff, can you think of any? They're the five that I would always think they were good games that were filmed. So.
I've thought of another one which kind of stands out to me is the Batman games.
Oh yeah.
Batman Returns on the Super Nintendo Mega Drive.
Yeah. Amazing
games, and they've made lots of good Batman games. Not necessarily the films. All right, I think that's the thing about those.
Lego Batman.
Love Lego Batman and the movie. Amazing. Both movies.
Which came first though? We'll never know.
Yeah, we will literally never know. And while we're on the topic of Lego and kids stuff, I think it's
one time for one for the younger audience. Lit.
Lego games are lit.
Yes,
exactly. But yeah, Batman.
Batman's another great shout. We've talked about films and games and stuff that have been out. There are some new films or films on the horizon.
Yeah. Zero Dawn.
Horizon Zero Dawn.
Do it, Sony.
You heard it here first. Well, Sony have just got their own production company now.
Yes.
I think it's called PlayStation Productions. Something like that.
Yeah, they're getting sick of other people making their films badly.
Well, they're going to now decided they're taking the reins over on the Uncharted
Yes.
project, which is supposed to be, if the rumours are to be believed, Tom Holland playing a young Nathan Drake.
Right.
And whether that will set up a trilogy and, then as he grows up, Nathan Drake will grow up. Whatever.
They could make so many films out of that, couldn't they?
Again, it's a simple concept. It's pretty much Indiana Jones. It's just a young guy who's got a bit of a mouth, like quite quick-witted, and gets himself in trouble finding artifacts around the world. It's like it's pretty much Indiana Jones. So hopefully they won't mess that up, because I know that's got a big fan following. They've wanted that film for years. It's been teased for years, even to the point where I forget his name. The guy who was in Buffy and he was in Firefly. Can't think of his name, but he's the guy that everyone on the internet wants to play, Nathan Drake. He made a short feature film, which is really cool, really worth watching. Which people thought was going to be the announcement of him getting the role, but it turned out it was a little feature film.
It's not Nathan Fillion.
Fillion.
I can't remember his name, but yeah, I know who you mean.
He looks like him. He looks
like him as well, doesn't he?
Yeah, that's why everyone I think really wanted him to play the role, because he just looks like it should be. Obviously, a new Mortal Kombat coming. It was leaked. It was being filmed in. I think it's
desperate
Australia.
for it to be an 18. I just want a Mortal Kombat film that's an 18. So that they can do the proper gore. That's what's needed.
That is what's needed. Gore,
red blood, not green.
You want a dragon fatality?
Yes. Yeah.
Well, maybe
I want Mortal Kombat 11 style fatalities, like real gruesome.
Yeah, maybe we'll get it. We don't know. We'll have to watch this space on Mortal Kombat. I think either New Zealand or Australia it's being filmed in currently. I can't remember which one. Then also, like, we've had the announcement of Netflix doing a lot of stuff now. Netflix are working to bring the Witcher series. Yeah. I think it's a series or a film. Either way, they're bringing that to Netflix soon.
Isn't it the guy that plays Superman, right?
Yep, Superman. I'm terrible with names.
I feel like that might ruin it for me. I don't really like him.
Have you seen any of the imagery? You haven't seen any of the imagery?
I have. He just looks weird with the blonde hair.
You think, I don't know, I'm going to give it a chance. I'll give anything a chance.
I'll give it a go.
And see how he does. The thing with him is, I think he's passionate about it.
Yeah.
And that always, I think, is a good thing. If someone's passionate, they know. He's been interviewed about it. He jumped at the chance to do it. He's a fan of the game. Yeah, I think they actually said he nearly missed out on. He was playing video games. It might have even been The Witcher, and he nearly missed out on his. He got a call about being Superman.
No,
and he missed the call because he was playing, and he nearly missed out on the role because of it. God. And it ended up, and then they got through to him eventually. Yeah. But I think I can't remember the exact details, but it was something around that. Also announced at E3, The Division is getting a film that's coming to Netflix. So that would be cool, because that, again, very simple concept, but could be really good concept if it's done right.
Yeah.
And we were
They've done lots of others, haven't they, on Netflix?
Yeah, we were talking off air when we were saying like Castlevania. That's another animated film that's been adapted from the games.
Was that a series? I think
it was a series. Sorry, yes.
Yeah.
So it's had 2 series, and I think there's a third coming. I think they've said that there's going to be a third. So they're all good. Things to watch out for, look out for what's coming in the future.
I like the fact that they're doing that. It is the way of the world now. Everything's going to that Netflix model, isn't it? You know, watch on demand, and they're able to spend a lot of money on stuff that a lot of other people can't. I'd
love to see how their business model works, because obviously they're making a lot of money from subscriptions all around the world, but I'd love to know how they get, how much they have to pay to have certain things on there, how much they get funding for their own projects, and stuff like that. It'd be interesting to see how that works.
It's good. The amount of money they've made, you do wonder how it, like you say, how does that stack up against the amount of money they've spent?
Yeah,
I mean,
it's not cheap to do the things that they're doing. No. It's not cheap. It can't.
But they've released a lot of Netflix originals that aren't necessarily high budget. Do you know what I mean? True. That have done well.
Yeah.
What was that one with the tapes? The 13 tapes. Have you seen that one?
No.
That's brilliant, and that's like low budget. Yeah. You know what I mean? Stranger Things to an extent, things like that.
Yeah.
Stranger Things is a bit of a bigger budget, but it's not huge, is it?
No.
So.
But yeah. So
anyway,
if you
digress,
we do digress. We've wandered way off the path. Should we move on to our community input?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Before we do that, Mark, why don't you read that out for us?
So let's move on to...
What does this say?
I'm trying to think. Let's, if you're listening to this now, why not make a cup of tea?
Is it?
And listen to our community input.
Excellent.
Also, get your community input in, guys.
Yeah, get the community input in, guys.
Yeah.
Here is some community input. Firstly, from Ibsy, saying Final Fantasy VII Advent Children was the finest game to movie I think I've ever seen.
People love that. I haven't seen it. I've read a lot about that.
I saw a Final Fantasy film when I was at uni. I remember going in. They did like a proper screening and they put up on a projector and everything.
Yeah.
And I can't remember if that was the one it was, but I remember walking out of it thinking, I love Final Fantasy. It looked amazing, but I have no idea what just happened. I don't know what was going on in there. Sparkrat says Detective Pikachu tops all other films by several miles.
Yeah.
Honourable mention goes to Mortal Kombat mainly for the soundtrack.
There you go. I mean, I just want to quickly touch on the Detective Pikachu point.
Yeah.
What I loved about that film was how much attention to detail there was.
Yeah.
Loved it. And for someone... I've only really got into Pokemon probably the last 5 years or so. Never really was into it as a kid. I don't know why. It's just... something that seemed to skip my radar, but looking at the attention to detail in the film is unreal. Unreal.
We're the other way around. So when I was a kid, I remember on the Game Boy getting the first Pokemon.
Right. Okay.
And I remember being at school where the cards were being traded and people were collecting. I saw a thing the other day. If you've got a full collection of the original cards, it's going for about $7,000 now. So anyone out there that has that,
but to get that collection, it probably cost you $7,000.
You're just recouping the money that you've cost your parents when you were a kid. But
that's what really stood out to me
in the film.
Which book?
The collection. There was a book with all the cards in it on the desk somewhere. There's a few little nods to the original, sort of like the 90s Pokemon, like nostalgia wise.
Agreed though, loved it. It definitely...
Oh, brilliant.
This is the best video game film for me.
Yeah, that's really good. Oggy says, games turned into films is an interesting topic. There are examples of films that should have been good, as in Mario, Mortal Kombat, but were awful, but also good examples, Final Fantasy Spirits Within, Resident Evil, in his personal opinion. I'll watch a film only if I'm interested in the game itself, just to see how it compares.
Well, there you go. So most people will watch a film of a game because they like the game.
So would you watch a film of a game that you haven't played?
Well, Detective Pikachu. I never played Detective Pikachu.
Okay.
So it's a really good example.
Yes.
So the answer is definitely yes. Yes.
Yes, I would.
So this makes me want to see Final Fantasy and what was the other one? There's a couple of Resident Evil films I want to see. So I'm really glad we're doing this because it makes me want to go and watch it.
Now actually,
and I will really go and watch
I haven't seen as many as I thought I had.
Yeah.
And I actually need to, probably should have done the research.
Probably.
Before, but that's not how we operate.
We've had a month, but it's fine. It doesn't matter.
It's been a crazy month for both of us. And that's not how we work.
Happy July, everyone. This will be 1st of July.
We've got some questions. Rach has written in and asked, what movie would make an awesome game?
Ooh.
So the flip reverse. While you do that, I'm going to get another little letter out here. Aubergine emoji.
Oh, wow.
There you go.
What is the aubergine emoji?
We'll never know. We're too old.
The Green Mile.
That'd be an awful game. Jeez. You were right up there with Horizon Zero Dawn. That put you up there. You've just taken yourself right to the bottom.
What about Shawshank Redemption?
I think, what movie would make an awesome game? I'm trying to think of a film that hasn't been turned into a game. My God, he's going for another one. Try and think of a film that hasn't been turned into a game already.
Is there any films with Taylor Swift in?
Oh, it's just Taylor Swift. Those youngsters, they love a bit of Taylor Swift. They love Taylor Swift.
What about Pacific Rim?
Has it been made into a game though? It's like Basic Gundam. Oh, The Goonies.
Yeah.
Action adventure.
Yeah, that would be awesome. See, I could see The Goonies being, oh bless their hearts, a Telltale game. That would have been a perfect Telltale game.
R.I.P. Telltale. Yeah, I'm going to stick with The Goonies. Rachel Sauce, who would you cast as Mario/Luigi in a Mario Bros remake?
Oh my
I'd have Dwayne The Rock Johnson as Mario.
That's such a great idea. Dwayne Johnson
and Kevin Hart as Luigi. That's it, done. That is the best. That would be the
wrong way round. It's the way around. Luigi's taller.
Luigi's taller. Mario as Kevin Hart and Luigi as Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Who would be Bowser?
Oh God, who would be Bowser?
Kevin Bacon.
Kevin Bacon, but the animated version. I'd want an animated Bowser Kevin Bacon film.
Oh, it sounds so bad. Kevin Hart, Dwayne The Rock Johnson and Kevin Bacon star in Super Mario Bros. The remake. Terrible. Oh wow, that would be worse than Dennis Hopper.
Yeah, and then we've answered. Which game would you like to be seen made into a movie? That's been done.
Yeah.
So thank you for the input, guys. Really, really do appreciate the community part of the podcast.
Love it.
Please keep tweeting us at the TNM pod.
Yeah.
And also you can email us.
You can
email us at the TNM pod.
Sorry, just to reiterate, the Twitter is actually the TNM pod.
That is,
even though we've got that wrong the whole way through this podcast.
Oh, so sorry, corporate.
Oh, good.
So
the TNM pod, everyone. Follow us on Twitter.
Follow us.
The email address is podcast.tnm@gmail.com.
Excellent.
Yes, I think that covers all bases. Apart from, don't forget to review us on Apple Podcasts.
If you use Apple Podcast or iTunes, anything like that, please leave a review because it really, really does help.
It does help. Helps a lot.
Helps this shambles of a podcast carry on from month to month.
It's gonna happen.
Anything else you want to add, Mark?
The only thing left to cover now is what we're going to talk about in next month's podcast, Tom. Tell me what we're going to talk about.
I'm going to tell you what we're going to talk about.
Tell me, I'm so excited.
We are going to talk about remasters/remakes.
Ooh.
And basically, are they good things, bad things?
Yeah.
Should they be done? Should they be left alone?
Yeah.
We want your input, so we want to know how you feel about remasters and remakes.
Yeah. What is your favourite?
What is your favourite remaster, remake? Games that you think should be remastered or remade but haven't been yet.
That is good.
Ones that you think shouldn't have been. If any that you think should have just been left the way they were. That's also an option as a question. And just generally, anything you want to ask us. We're open to general questions as well. So yeah, anything that you guys want to throw our way, we'll happily get back to you.
Yes, I think we'll have to have our own little list of games we want to be remade.
Yes,
for that next
definitely.
One.
We'll have a lot more. We'll have a lot more research done.
Yes.
Before the end of before we start recording the next one. So, should we say goodbye to everybody?
Yes, I especially want to say a massive thank you to Kit Harrington for his input into this podcast. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. He's really helped me.
He is a real bae.
Yeah.
He's a real
People
bae.
are going to be so confused.
I know.
We got to open them all. Are we going to do them all
out now?
All right, so the end of the podcast.
We'll see if we can make any sort of sentence out of this.
Let's grab a few and then make a sentence out of a few of them.
Oh, I've got a good couple here now. What's this one? This one.
All right. All right, you go first. Go first.
I'm going to end on this, then we're going to end the podcast. What have you got for us?
YOLO.
YOLO.
YOLO. I don't know what to put that with. I'm really salty about certain parts of Love Island 2019, especially Amy and her face.
That wasn't actually in there. You've been watching Love Island 2019.
That was in there. It was on there.
Well, that is. I'm now shook AF with that.
You shook. Oh wow.
And all that's left to say is have a great month, guys. We'll be back next time. Me, Mark, and Idris Elba.
Is he coming?
He's coming.
You confirmed him. My God, amazing. Right, thanks, guys.
Bye, guys.